Got it.
Well, well, hello everyone once again, and we're welcome to see you here in our online discussion dedicating to climate change, and we're welcome. First of all, Carlito, we're welcome to see you here as president of non-governmental organization from Zambia, and Alicia, we are glad to see you here as the president of non-governmental organization Global Eco Army.
Thank you.
And to we with the Bogdan, we are representative of Constitutional and Legal Congress. And finally, we can see you face to face.
That's right, finally.
Yeah.
Dreams do come true, right?
Our discussion dedicated to climate change affecting global warming, and we will discuss in a case of changes that we have all over our planet. First of all, you as a representative of United States, Carlito as representative, a person from Zambia and Africa, and we as a representative of European part of our planet. So we start our discussion. First, the first question dedicated to global warming. Can we feel it, and do we have some changes in which, if we try to compare it with the previous century? First of all, Carlito,
If we can, okay.
Start?
Yes, I wasn't sure if it was for me or Carlito, but Carlito can go ahead.
Super. So, okay. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me here. It's a pleasure and honor to be here. It's true that Kunika Zambia is operating in different matters concerning ecology and sustainability. However, I will speak to the wide of my knowledge and the infinite amount of ignorance that I have also, and considering that Africa is a very big continent, and even each country is its own reality. And even within Zambia, for example, there are like 80 tribes. So in terms of cultural, there are already like issues, no? So many occasions is the government, the one taking the decision concerning ecology and sustainability. And so the reality of Zambia, at least, is or countries that are on these developing realms, no, in these developing stages. In many occasions, there is not a lot of industry, like this type of developed industry that is the one causing most of the carbon dioxide emissions. However, something that affects heavily the economy is the utilization of the resources. So the exploitation of resources, most of the times coming from foreign countries, either Chinese, European, US. So normally that's the biggest impact, at least in countries like Zambia. So it's not so much about what the country is generating in terms of impact to the global warming, but more about how foreigner countries are entering into the land to take the resources. And this is having an impact. So I'm guessing here there should be some sort of foreigner policies approaches, no, to handle how these resources should be treated. I don't know if that is answering the question, but we can continue the discussion from here. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for your question. Yeah, you are quite right about the weather and about natural resources. Yeah, but we're speaking more about weather and the changing because of carbon dioxide, as you have mentioned. Yes, you are quite right. And I suppose that Alicia will share with us about the news from United States and about carbon dioxide too.
That's right. Well, thank you for the opportunity to be here. For number one, I'm very honored to be part of your group and be able to speak on behalf of not only United States, but the entire world. I think that we all have a fair share to work. And basically, I know that America has been one of the few leading nations in providing a lot of carbon dioxide to the atmosphere, along with China and Russia and many other, and yeah, basically all the big developed countries of the world have contribute to the most pollution. But at the same time, we're here leading with a global eco army, which is encompassing all the countries around the world, and global eco navy and global eco air force, in the way that we can deploy as many trees planted for this year. Hopefully 8 billion we can plant all together in one day. We were able to wear the mask, so we should be able to plant a 3, I think, or 2. So that's one of the goals that we have at Global Eco Army for this year, to offset the pollution that we're generating, not only in our country, but in every single country around the planet. And we are also trying to incorporate renewable technology for airplanes and cars, and even like solar power boats. They're also helping with noise pollution for the animals, because there is a lot of dolphins and a lot of maritime animals that are becoming deaf due to the noise from the motorboats. Therefore, having a nice solar catamaran or a solar yacht will help with not using so much oil and having oil spills and things like that that are harming our nature. So we have a lot of work ahead of us, and as long as we bring awareness to every nation of what each individual can do and each government can do, I think that we can all join forces and hands together and come out of this quicker than we thought. So it's just a matter of awareness and giving the power for everybody to take action and do something for the environment at any level that they can.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your answer. And the next question about the change and effect in this weather. The previous 2020 year was quite bad when we're speaking about weather condition, and a lot of forests were fired. And what do you think about it? If authority of United States have any policy in order to prevent such events and in order to save more forest?
Sure. Yes. Currently, well, every state takes care of their own fires as they happen, but I think that, you know, and sometimes the president can intervene and provide a budget to take care of the fires once they are there, but there is really not a budget that helps with preventive measures. So that's what we're going to be in place as Global Eco Air Force. We're going to take care of stopping the fires by using firefighting airplanes and having like very nice skilled workforce to do that, because right now we're just improvising every time a fire happens, not only in the United States but all around the world. And I think that as we progress, the fires are going to be bigger and longer, and if we don't really take proactive measure and be where the fire is as soon as it starts, and not allowing to increase in size without having the right manpower to take care of it, you know, it would just lead to disaster if we're not preventive about that. So that's what the Global Eco Air Force will bring to the table, not only for United States, but around the world. And each president will not have to argue with the other if they need help or not to their nation, and with fear of having land taken away because they helped offset the fires in that particular region, which happened exactly between Brazil and France a few years back. The president of France offered help to the president of Brazil, and the president of Brazil rejected the help because they thought that the land would be taken away by the French. So, you know, things like that should not take place worldwide. I think that we should be able to go there and stop the fires wherever they're happening, and just you know, take care of it for every single country without them being fearful of losing anything in exchange of that service to them. And the way we can gain that or give them that service will be through obtaining a percentage of each country's GDP. It's kind of like how we have a budget for military in each country. We should have a budget for a Global Eco Army, and that we should deploy our eco air forces as needed when a fire rises, with the right tools, with the right manpower, and the right gear for safety for firemen.
I have one question. Is it possible to predict and stop this fire? Because it's a huge square.
Yes, absolutely. Well, what we need to basically examine of the reason why these fires happen are like many, right? Some of them are for arson. Some people just do it out of, you know, a pure evil act. They just enjoy destroying. So a way that we can prevent that is by having surveillance cameras or satellites that will definitely find out where the source of the fire happened, who ignited it, with millimetric eyes, and persecute that person or that entity, whether it's a person, a company, a government. Everybody has done it on purpose many times in the past. And sometimes it happens by accident. Somebody throws a cigarette butt in the forest, it's, you know, it's done smoking, throws in on the grass, and the next thing you know, it's the whole forest is on fire and people are dead and animals are burned alive. So this is negligence that we also have to offset by putting signs, you know, that says do not throw butts in the forest, or something that brings awareness to people to not do something that they will otherwise regret out of pure ignorance. And another reason could be just, yes, because the weather, it's so hot that it will ignite, you know, one little spark somewhere, and the next thing you know, the whole forest is on fire as well. So there is those three reasons: negligence, pure evil, and nature itself. And the way we can prevent, you know, the nature, that's kind of hard, because all we can do is just arrive where the fire is happening as soon as possible and stop it, and not just let it there increase in size by sending volunteers, which happened a while, like a couple of years ago as well in Australia. I don't know if you're aware of what happened there with the koalas, and the President Morrison actually just sent volunteers for a very long time, where he should have sent the right firefighters and increase the size of crew members there that are professional, that are trained to take care of those fires, not just people that are not being paid and trying to fight for their lives. So those are things that we can definitely prevent by having the right people in place to be deployed at the right time when it's needed. I hope that answered the question.
Yeah,
Yes.
perfectly. And in such way, can we include and predict with the help of direction of the wind? Because the direction of the wind can be unpredictable, and it can influence the forest fire and move it to the north, east, west, or anything. Can we prevent it somehow?
Yes, with the help of satellites, they will definitely help us see where the fires are beginning and literally what caused them. If we can truly like zoom in on the area where the fire is taking place, and just deploy the right airplanes to come to the rescue and stop the fire. You know, they have like a foam-like material that it's really good in extinguishing any fires. And there is also like war tanks that are used to extinguish fires. So there are many ways that we can use to deploy this machinery without even putting the risk of life of firemen at risk, you know, because sometimes they go in the fires and they never come out. But if we send in with drones big firefighting tanks that are just basically sent in there with a remote control, then we can just stop the fires without putting the risk, without having the risk of losing lives of our firefighters while they're there.
Okay, thank you. Carlita, what about weather in Africa? And this year shows that Africa is a quite opposite continent, because we're speaking about snow on the north of the continent, and we're speaking about 10 points below the zero, and about snowing that was really amazing for people in Africa. What do you think? And is a climate change, global warming, carbon dioxide, as you have mentioned, or is it a fact of anything else?
So, first of all, just to put things on perspective, you know, Congo. Congo is a country in the middle of Africa. So Congo is bigger than Europe. Okay. So Congo, like
Wow.
Central Europe, already Congo is bigger. So this is something like saying like a difference in weather between Copenhagen in Denmark or Sevilla in the south of Spain. So each place has its own climate. So the Equatorian area is more rainy. Where I am, which is a sort of tropical, between the tropics and the Equatorian, is there are two seasons: the rainy season, the dry season. And then the more you go towards the extremes, yeah, for example, in South Africa, can get cold. Even in the north, no, you were mentioning, I don't know exactly which countries, but for example, in Morocco, the Atlas Mountains, it gets very cold because it's basically a mountain. Same with Kilimanjaro in Tanzania. So it's a bit tricky to say, no? And in any case, what I feel about climate change is that in many occasions is a very big problem that can be understood in different approaches. No, it can be understood from the more governmental approach, or more from the private corporation approach, or more from the individual approach. So I'm the type of person that I am, and the type of activities and projects that we like to run in Kunika, they are more oriented towards what we can do in these three levels: what we can do as individuals, what we can do as organizations, what we can do as interacting with the government. So I don't know exactly what is the question, and yeah, I mean, I don't know if in any country in Africa is snowing, and this is weird. I don't know. What I know is the things we can do to prevent that, and this can be considering, from the moment of, imagine a story. No, there is a family that they don't have enough resources to protect themselves against the winter. No, so then how can we tackle this? Or whether the houses are well built, because in Kunika, Zambia, also we are doing projects concerning ecological housing. So this is also relevant.